everybody, and welcome to Transparent Tuesday. I hope that everyone is having a blessed and prosperous week. I'm your host, Francis Dupree, and I want to talk about my new book with you guys. But first, before we get into that, let me say this. I have been advertising the pre-orders for Have You Ever Wanted to Die on social media and different platforms. Um, I've been getting a lot of negative feedback. I've been getting told that my book is a trigger, my cover is horrible, it's disgusting. My response to that is because this season I'm not going back and forth with anybody. God told me to be quiet, so I didn't say anything. But this is what I do have to say to all of those negative things that were being said to me. Any witch, any warlock, any assignment, any contract that has been given on this book or what God has in store for it, I bind and I rebuke it in Jesus' name. My book is going to go and do what God assigns it to do. The spirit of self-harm, of cutting, of suicide has no authority over my book, the cover, or anything connected to it. Now that I got that out the way, cutting, suicide, that's something that is very serious. I'm an advocate for that. There were many times in my life that the pain, the rejection, the abandonment was too much for me. So I would try to kill myself or I would cut myself. Um, I briefly discussed those moments in this book. This topic is so serious and so like it can leave a lasting effect that, as you can see, the book is not that long. It is actually 55 pages. This is not something that I wanted to drag on. This assignment, I had a dream and God was like, he showed me this book and my reaction was, no, God, not another book. But I have been changing my prayers. It's not my will, but his will be done. I tried to play with the title and change it so it can be easier on the ears. I tried to play with the cover and he's like, that's not what I told you. So, have you ever wanted to die? I always say you never know what someone is struggling with, their hidden battle. When the doors are closed and it's just them in the four walls, you don't know what's going through their minds. This is, I have to honestly say, is my biggest battle, is that I had to live when all I wanted to do was die. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to deal with the pain. I didn't want to feel the pain. I didn't want to be hurt. I didn't want to feel the rejection, the abandonment. So I wanted to end it, and I tried on multiple occasions. The front cover of the book is my arm. It's photoshopped, but it's my arm. So you can see some of the scars from when I cut myself. You can see some of the scars from when I burnt myself. I was hurting that much, but I had become professional at hiding the pain. I had become a professional of having a beautiful smile on my face and walking around like I had it under control and everything was good. But behind closed doors, and when I would get home and my kids were asleep, I would tell God, like, I don't want to wake up in the morning. And the thing about it is that this first happened before I was even 10 years old. Like, that's how deep it runs for me. Because of, it's not a secret. I was a foster kid. I wasn't raised by my mom or my father. I have good relationships with both of them now, but neither one of them raised me. So as a kid, I couldn't understand what was so wrong with me or what made me so bad that neither one of them loved me or could raise me. This was my thought process. Not saying it's accurate, but that was my thought process. That's what I couldn't understand. And, business would come up if my mom didn't show up. That was a trigger for me. So you never know what someone's battle is. You never know what someone's trigger is. A lot of people have so much to say, Everyone wants to judge people off of what they see on social media or what they hear about somebody in the streets. You don't know what is going on behind closed doors. You don't know the person. Um, for example, the Kirk Franklin situation. Everybody has so much to say about the son. And I seen that people were saying so much negativity and so many nasty things. Like, he's really being bullied on social media. No one knows the effect that that bullying is going to leave on him. I've been praying for him because when I first seen everything, the first thing that popped in my head was suicide. And I'm praying that that does not happen. But you don't know how powerful your words are. See, when I was a kid, we were always told sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's the biggest lie in the world. And the reason I say that is because words hurt more than bumps and bruises do. The scars and things like that, the bruises, they'll heal. But when someone says something to you, it resonates in your mind. It repeats. And especially at that dark moment, the enemy knows exactly when to come in and make that negative thing that was said to you repeat itself. He knows exactly when to make sure you're reminded of that thing and when it's going to cut so deep. So, suicide, the spirit of harming and cutting and things like that, it's not something to play with. It's hard to deal with. It takes strength, like a lot of prayer to, number one, overcome it. I know there's been a lot of suicidal deaths. There's been a lot of people that are harming themselves and no one even knows. I remember one time I was going through something and I was so hurt. I cut my inner thigh so nobody would knew that I cut myself. But I did and no one knew because it wasn't outside. It was in my inner thigh. No one's going to look at my inner thigh, so you wouldn't know what I was doing. I'm strong believer. I tell my kids and everybody, be mindful of the things that you say to people. When God said you speak life or death in the power of your tongue, that is so serious because you don't know, because of what you said could be that one thing that sends someone over the edge to harm themselves, to commit suicide, to cut themselves. We need to, the world that we're living in right now, it's going to crap. Like, God's coming any day now. So we need to be mindful of the things that we're saying. We need to be mindful of the way that we're treating people and what we're doing, because you don't know how they're battling and what they're battling behind the closed doors. So in this book, I share some of those things. I share some of the battles. I share some of the thoughts. I share how the pain was so much, I had to feel a different kind of pain for a release. Like, after a while, it was like a drug, and it was okay, I need to take a break from life. I can't deal with this. So I'm going to go to my drug, which is to cut myself. And that's not okay. It's not okay. This is something that most people are not able to talk about. They're not even able to admit that they have the problem. So reluctantly, and being a big old brat, I wrote the book. And I wrote the book and I sent it to my wonderful, wonderful, talented Tyra. She's amazing. She's my virtual assistant. So she does all my edits and she's just awesome. Awesome. I highly recommend her to everybody. This experience has just been amazing. But I sent it to her. And then I went on vacation with my friend in Miami, and we had a great time, and I came home and we were and I was in the shower. And God's like, you left the most important part out. And the most important part of the book, and I'm only going to say a little bit, like, I don't want to go into too much detail, is I thought I was healed. Like, I thought, because there had been such a gap in when I felt this kind of pain and I wanted to do these things, I thought, okay, I'm healed. I don't have to worry about this. So I was off of my praying posts. One thing I love about God is he doesn't allow me to be blinded or caught off guard. So he was showing me in my sleep, in my dreams, basically that the attacks were coming. And I seen it and I prayed and, I asked questions, but I didn't take it as serious as I was supposed to. So I wasn't on my praying post the way that I was supposed to. And the reason that this is so important is because sometimes we can be so caught up in life, or to us, life may seem like, okay, right now it's perfect. Like there's nothing bad going on. Everything's good. So I can come off my post. I can take a break. I can relax. No, 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 no. When you think that things are perfect and everything is going right in life, that's when you need to press in. You need to pray harder, because that's when the enemy's going to try to slip you up, catch you slipping basically, and come in like a flood. And that's what happened to me. I was warned, and I took the warning and I prayed about it, but I didn't stay on my post. I didn't pray the way that I was supposed to. I didn't go deep the way that I should have. And that's when he came in like a flood. And the thoughts of the suicide and the cutting, it came back. And I didn't. Even though it came back, I didn't do it. But just having that feeling after not having it so long is very scary. So whatever your hidden battle is, it may not be the same as mine. Do not be caught off guard. Never leave your post, no matter how perfect you think life is, no matter how much those blessings are coming in, that thing you've been praying for, like no matter how much things are just lining up and going the way that you want them to do, that's when you need to pray harder. That's when you need to have your feet at your face at our Father's feet the most. I apologize just talking about this. It's not easy, but it needs to be said. And that's what Transparent Tuesday is for, is to be transparent, to give a platform and to let others know that they're not alone, that someone else is going through what they're going through, or may have gone through what they've gone through. So I use Transparent Tuesday to share that information, to let people know they're not alone, and to share my experience, hoping maybe I can help someone not to make the same mistake that I did, help someone not get caught off guard like I've done, or just a breath of fresh air, because I made it through. I'm still here. All the times that I attempted the cutting, the suicide, it didn't work. God had a plan for me. There was a purpose in my life. So I'm still here. So if I'm still here, that means you're still here, or like you can still be here. You can get through it. Honestly, I don't know if I will ever be completely healed of this. I know the more that I stay at my Father's feet, the more that I pray, the more that I stay in his word, it gets easier. I see things coming. I know how to deal with it better. Like, for example, I didn't cut myself, but as you can see, I went and I had got these tattoos as a different way to try to deal with the pain, my daughter's name. And then right here, it's my son's first initials, heartbeats with a heart. So I have found other ways to deal with the pain when I'm too overwhelmed. The thing about it is that when you have so much trauma, so much pain, and you don't deal with it, and you just sweep it under the rug, and you try to act like it didn't happen, and you try to put the skeletons away, it's not resolved. So anything can trigger it to come back. I used to have a lot of childhood trauma, a lot of abandonment, rejection, and issues and things like that. And because I did not deal with them, I didn't go to therapy, and I didn't do things like that, I tried to sweep it under the rug, tried to act like, oh, I'm good, it's okay. And it's not. I know in the African American community, we're told to not tell our business. We're told, oh, you don't need to go to therapy. You don't need nobody in your business. You don't need this. You don't need that. That's not true. When you're going through certain things, especially when no one around you is talking about it or admitting that they may be going through it too, you need some type of outlet. You need some type of help, some type of guidance to guide you in the right direction, some type of release. And then that way you can probably figure out what the triggers are, what you need to do different, so you don't react that way, or so you don't go to that dark place. So don't try to sweep it under the rug. Like, you have to deal with it. You have to face it on head on. It's not something that's easy. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But the first step is being honest with yourself. And when you do that, that opens up so many doors, that gives you so much release, because it's no longer hidden. And not even just that, like the enemy will still try to use it, and throw it in your head and hang it over you and stuff like that. But tell the truth and shame the devil. If you're dealing with it, you're going to therapy, you're staying on track, you're praying, you're in God's face, it'll get easier. It'll get, you'll be able to, release it in a different kind of way, in a positive way. You'll learn how to turn that negative thing into a positive thing. And that's what I've done. And that's why I believe that I needed to write this book. Like, I need to go back. I had to go back down memory lane and go through all of those moments to face them, to stop being in denial with myself, but then also see all the times that God was there, even though I didn't feel him and I couldn't see him. He was still there getting me through. And now my test is a testimony for someone else. I'm able to share with others and to let them know, hey, I went through that, or I've gone through that, or recently I thought I was all good, everything was great, and I slipped. God didn't let me fall, but I did slip. So that is the point of this book, Have You Ever Wanted to Die? It is not fully out yet. It will release on the 30th. You are able to pre-order on Amazon and from me. This book is not about the money. And with that being said, I am looking for a charity that I can donate most of the proceeds to. I'm selling pre-copies. Autographed copies for $15. Amazon, the book is $10. The ebook is, I believe, $4.99. So it's not about the money. It's about the message. It's about letting people know there's life after, that you may have those moments, but you can get through it, that you're not alone. And also, it's not easy. Like, it's not going to go away overnight. Even though you pray, even though you're fasting, even though you're doing your kingdom assignments, you are still a person. You still have your own battles, and you can't sweep that under the rug. Like, I know people always say our household is our first ministry, but yourself is your first ministry as well. Because if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not making sure that you're okay, especially up here and right here, you're not going to be able to fully do what God wants you to do. And you're not going to be any help to anyone else. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself, making sure that you do what you need to do to make sure that you're okay. So you're fully functioning and able to do what it is God wants you to do and whatever your assignment may be. As you guys know, I'm not going to keep you guys long, especially not with a topic like that. But just know you're not alone. My messenger, my email, my phone, the number's out there. Anybody needs to talk, you're having a dark moment, I'm here for you. I'm open all ears. I'm not perfect. I've still fall sometimes, but God is showing me how to get through it, and he's giving me the voice to speak and to be able to be transparent. See, that's the thing, is we go through things so we can help others through it. We can go back and let others know God did it for me. He's not a respecter of a person. He can do it for you as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I pray you guys have a blessed and prosperous rest of the week. And I will see you guys next Tuesday. Goodbye.